name is Greg Bale. I was born and raised in Cedar Rapids. I've lived here all my life. I was here a few weeks ago. I talked about how there were a lot of people having their houses torn down and they hadn't received buyout money yet. I'm back here today again to talk about that because I still have people out there. I'm still watching their houses being torn down, and they're still confused, as this city council was here just an hour and a half, 2 hours ago discussing this. They're still confused about the amount of money they're going to be getting for their buyout. After their house is already torn down, the buyout that they're going to turn around and go for, they almost have to accept. They don't have an option to rebuild when you tear it down. On top of that, you guys, as has been mentioned here, are tearing down houses that are not an imminent threat, where you have houses sitting right next door to those houses that are clearly an imminent threat. This tells me that these companies that you guys have hired are not doing or reporting the things that they are finding the way they're supposed to. Instead, what they're doing is they're picking and choosing based off of some other agenda that I do not understand. All right? Now, at this point, I would say again, there is no reason for us to be tearing these houses down in the first place. The whole idea here was to develop a greenway, remove the houses, and put a flood wall behind them. When the flood wall disappeared because the Army Corps and Engineers said that they would no longer fund that, then the greenway zone should have been out the window. You guys are tearing down affordable houses that can be completely rebuilt in an area that I have not seen flood in my entire life. As a matter of fact, my particular house that sits right across the river would have to see a flood level of 24 to 25 feet for it to even reach my first floor. Now, if you go back through in history and you look at what it takes for our river to have a 24 or 25 foot flood level, I'm sorry, I do not need you guys to come in and tell me that you're protecting me by removing me from an area that might be a danger to me. I'm 43 years old. I've been running around this neighborhood my whole life. Some of you guys grew up in this neighborhood. You're telling me that you now think that living in those houses is a danger? Why? Because it will flood when? You know, I've heard this before. So I would suggest again, one more time, because it's going to take action from you guys to stop these companies from tearing these houses down. If you don't tell them to stop, and the city management doesn't tell them to stop, they're just going to keep on going, doing what they have been paid to do in the first place. But as you can see, clearly, there is a lot of confusion as to what the people are getting. There is a lot of error in the way these houses are being torn down. And so I will ask you one more time to please stop tearing down the houses until the people who were from this city and were flooded in these neighborhoods have an option to be heard about what you're going to do with them. You're going to put a greenway in my area? You want this guy over here, you're going to give him a soccer field. He doesn't want to go over to the soccer field in my part of town. He likes the soccer field he's got in Jones Park, right? So we're going to pick him up and move him, going to make him drive, 5 miles to come play soccer? Because that's what I see going on there. A big green spot where you're going to put a baseball diamond in a soccer field. And like I said before, if you ask me, I still believe it's a big dog and pony show. I mean, how cheap can you reinvent land than to put a couple soccer goals and some metal for a baseball diamond when you're just going to turn around years after that and say, oh, now we got a better idea, and rehabilitate the area after it never floods again. Thank you.